Because you opened the door. I was the guy behind him when he had his arm out the window. And as I watched him go through, he actually went through the toll booth. The guy gets out of the booth, starts, hey! The car drifts over, bumps up against the little shed, and he's still got his arm out. To this day, I don't regret not stopping because I'd have been in jail too. So. You got by that. Quite a measure of a man there. Unflappable. This guy had no nerves. I've never seen anybody handle difficult situations the way he did. Great, unbelievable. He had some annoying traits. One was he didn't even have a passing acquaintance with punctuality. This guy was late every day. And at one time, I would come to get him for golf on Saturday mornings. The door would be open, front door always open. I would walk right back into the bedroom, to their bedroom, covers all over them. I'd wrestle him. He'd lean up on his arm and say, "Can you get me a Coke?" Swear. So I'd get him a Coke and then wait until he got dressed and got him to the golf course. Most of the time, and what really made him annoying, he would show up at the golf course. Every one of us had hit, Charlie, Bobby, and I, we would have hit. And we're getting ready to go down the first fairway, and he shows up, laces undone. Now get this, we had been over there hitting balls for an hour. And we probably all hit mediocre drives. He walks up like that, strikes it down the middle about 250 yards. Never swung it. I don't even think he took a practice swing. I mean, this guy was unbelievable. Very, very talented. Very, very talented. I will tell you one more. You might want to keep your grandkids with your kids. After one round of golf, we came back to my house and we had some refreshment. And he had, his shoes were off already. He said, my ankles swell after I play. So I said, okay, see you. So the next thing I know, I hear the sirens on Concord Avenue. And he gets out of the car, I learned later, and was doing the walk. And he kept complaining. He said, I keep stepping on my socks. That's why I'm doing this. Subsequently, he decided that we would have a jury trial. I don't know if you're aware of this. And I was going to be the star witness. And we needed an attorney. And if anybody here thinks I'm making this up, Frank Mendez there, he was my neighbor back then. And I said, Frank, do you know? Oh, he said, I got this guy. I mean, he's Mr. Get you off on any kind of DUI. So I said, fine, oh, that's great, Frank. So we show up at the courtroom, and it's a jury trial. They have 5 people on the jury. And we go in, and we're going to use the socks defense. That was the best your attorney could come up with. And I was going to testify to how many drinks he had had. And I literally, he only had 2, but they were in tumblers about that. So we go through, and the prosecutor comes out, and he's got charts and graphs and statistics, and I'm going home. So we break, we have a little break, we go outside. I said to Frank's attorney, I said, do we have any graphs or anything? No, just the socks defense. So Dickie gets on, and he does the socks routine. I do the 2 drink thing. And I'm about as credible. I went, yeah, right. You know. So we got all done. It took the jury, I think, 4 or 5 minutes, and they came back with a guilty plea. Mr. Unflappable, we're walking out, and I said, yeah, geez, he said, you know, I think as a second career, I'd like to do that. That looks awful interesting. And away he went. Now, the postscript of this story was Frank's attorney, 6 months later. By the way, he showed up with liquor on his breath. 6 months later, he commits suicide, because this is, oh, what a stable guy. Let me take you back 45 years. Temple University, I graduated from Temple. Dick graduated from Temple. I went back there with Del Monte. I was with Del Monte in recruiting. And he was the last guy on my schedule. I walked in, this was 1965? 65? I had a little trouble with some of the dates. And I look at it and it said, Richard Neil Fink. Well, no siblings. And Neil was a family name. And I thought, oh, here's a rich kid. And I have kind of a disdain for privileged only children. Anyway, so I sit down and we have a lot of time. So I went through the routine, asked him the questions, look at his resume, look at his grades, etc. And so we start then, and I said, well, let's just talk casually and get a feel for each other. And we talked for a few minutes. I said, by the way, Richard, I said, have you ever had to endure any kind of adversity in your life? I mean, he came back immediately. He said, red hair, glasses, and a last name. Thank you. We were friends ever since. Let me gather myself. You stole some of my thunder, Sandy. The things, the gambling things that we all remember. Your dad was, card rooms down in San Leandro and Alameda. Oh, Dickie, even if you win, you don't get out alive. Hey, I'm off, and he'd leave after golf, sometimes go down there. His obsession with golf equipment. We were in Monterey. There's a place called down there called John Hurley. This guy made golf clubs that pros couldn't hit. They were, absolute blades. And they look nice. Buy the, away you go. So one day we're out, and he'd always show up. He had a garage full of drivers. And he shows up, and we're teeing off on 10. And those of you who don't know Contra Costa, you'll have to bear with me. And he's, again, no practice swings. He takes out this new driver, and it's when they were putting those big heads on those things. That was one of the first ones they put out. And he takes a swing, a mighty swing, and he hits it in the swimming pool. So they're right off. Number 10 tee was in the swimming pool. I said, what the hell's the name of that driver? He said, the Whaler. So yeah, I get it. I could go on and on. I'd say he's 45 years. There's just so many stories. And the families have done all these things together, and a lot of laughs, just a lot of laughs. And if this man had an inflated ego, I never could find it. Thanks.